Namaskara, Shubhodaya, and a warm welcome from Web Marketing Academy to yet another episode of Weekly Updates from Digital India podcast. This show is brought to you by staff and students of Web Marketing Academy, and I am Mansi. This show gives you the latest updates in the digital marketing world in India. Today is the 19th of August 2015, and we are giving you updates of the last 7 days. Here are the major headlines. The first story we have for today is from Google and its announcement plans for a new operating structure. The second story is about 6 new Facebook features for business that every marketer needs to know. The third story is about Google, and it says Hindi content is the key to growing an audience in India. And the fourth story is about BBMP elections and how several non-politicians are in the fray. And here are the detailed stories. I am looking at a blog from Larry Page, and it is from investor.google.com. And it's titled Google Announces Plans for New Operating Structure. G is for Google. Our company is operating well today, but we think we can make it cleaner and more accountable. So we are creating a new company called Alphabet. I am really excited to be running Alphabet as a CEO with help from my capable partner Sergey as president. What is Alphabet? Alphabet is mostly a collection of companies, the largest of which, of course, is Google. This newer Google is a bit slimmed down with the companies that are pretty far afield of our main internet products contained in Alphabet instead. So what do we mean by far afield? Good examples are our health efforts like Life Sciences that works on glucose sensing contact lenses, and Calico focused on longevity. Fundamentally, we believe this allows us more management scale as we can run things independently that aren't very related. Alphabet is about businesses prospering through strong leaders and independence. In general, our model is to have a strong CEO who runs each business, with Sergey and me in service to them as needed. We'll rigorously handle capital allocation and work to make sure each business is executing well. We will also make sure we have a great CEO for each business, and we will determine their compensation. In addition, with this new structure, we plan to implement segment reporting for our Q4 results, where Google financials will be provided separately than those for the rest of Alphabet businesses as a whole. This new structure will allow us to keep tremendous focus on the extraordinary opportunities we have inside of Google. A key part of this is Sundar. Yes, all of us are so happy. Sundar from India become the CEO of Google. Sundar has been saying the things I would have said and sometimes even better. Wow, that's what Larry Page has to say about Sundar for quite some time now, and I have been tremendously enjoying our work together. We really stepped up since October of last year when he took on product and engineering responsibility for our internet business. Sergey and I have been super excited about his progress and dedication to the company. And it is clear to us and our board that it is time for Sundar to be the CEO of Google. Google itself is also making all sorts of new products, and I know Sundar will always be focused on innovation, continuing to stretch boundaries. I know he deeply cares that we can continue to make big strides on our core mission to organize the world's information. Recent launches like Google Photos and Google Now using machine learning are amazing progress. Google has also some services that are run with their own identity like YouTube, and Susan is doing a great job as a CEO, running a strong brand and driving incredible growth. Larry Page, that's what he had to say about Susan and Sundar. And before we move on to our next story, we have an awesome tip coming your way.
Hello everyone, how are you doing today? This is Monica here. I'm back for the tips for this week. The first tip is a call out to Todd Henry. He's the author of the books The Accidental Creative, Die Empty, and the very latest, Louder Than Words. Todd is a leadership expert, and from his Twitter bio, quote, an arms dealer for the creative revolution, unquote. In his latest book, he talks about how you need to harness the power of your authentic voice. And what does he mean by authentic voice? In effect, build something that comes out of listening to your own voice, essentially who you are and what you care about. The next step is making your message resonate with the audience you target. It's a beautiful concept. I heard this on a podcast, and I just love the way he put it across.
And the next story for today is from socialmediaexaminer.com, and they're talking about 6 new Facebook features for businesses that every marketer needs to know. The first one they have is about encouraging your fans to use the see first option. Now, what is this option and why are we encouraging? It's because Facebook now allows people to customize their news feeds to prioritize updates from particular friends, groups, and pages. This is great news for pages with good content, so fans can prioritize your posts. Educate your audience on how to select to see your post first in their news feed. There are a couple of ways to access the see first option, and if you go through the blog, you will find out how they can actually look at the first option. The second tip that they have is check out upgrades to Facebook conversion tracking. Now, please, this is very important because your current conversion pixels will continue to work, but eventually you will have to migrate to the new upgraded code. Now, this involves placing the new code on your website. Then you have to add some codes on specific pages you want to track, and then you'll have to remove the old pixels that you have. Facebook's post explains this process and gives you the exact steps. So in case you're involved in conversion tracking, here is a blog that's going to tell you exactly how to do it. And the third tip that you should be aware of is get a Facebook beacon for your local business. Now, what is that beacon? The Facebook beacon is a device that you put on your local business that sends information to people who are on Facebook near you and have Bluetooth turned on. Send people a welcome message with a photo, recommendations from their friends who have visited the store. Send people a welcome message with a photo, recommendations from their friends who have visited the store, a prompt to check in, and more. The beacon device is free. Please remember this. The beacon device is free. All you need to do is request one from Facebook for your local page. It's an excellent way to increase the visibility of your local business to people who are using Facebook nearby. The fourth one, you can also send and receive money on Facebook. Yes, earlier this year, Facebook started rolling out the ability to send money between friends through Messenger app. But this is still only in the US. Now, most of the features that I'm talking about is mostly in the US. Now, this service is basically a rival for Google Wallet, and it makes it easier for people to make an in-app purchase on Facebook in the future. In the meantime, if your friends are your clients, then you could just ask them to pay you through the Messenger app. And the fifth feature we're going to talk about is creating saved replies for your page. Now, this isn't an earth-shattering change, but it can actually save you precious time if you have a standard message that you can frequently send. Please note that this feature is yet to roll out. It's on the way. And the sixth feature is about watch for lead ads. Now, what are these lead ads? Facebook is testing a new lead ads that makes it easier than ever to fill a contact information on mobile devices. Now, if mobile users respond to an ad for something like, let's say, a newsletter or business information or a free report or even a follow-up call, they can submit their contact information, that's email addresses or phone number, in just 2 taps on the phone. Here is another interesting story from Google India blog, and they are talking about how Hindi content is the key to growing an audience in India. Now, there are a couple of statistics that this particular story has, and I'm going to just read out the statistics. If you want more, obviously, you can just refer to our show notes right below, and it'll take you to the article when you click on the read mode page. Okay, here is the infographic. It says there's an opportunity to grow Hindi content on the web. There are 500 million speakers, just 100,000 Wikipedia articles. That's the infographic. India has thousands of years of literature, yet the collective wisdom of 1,200 million people is practically unrepresented on the web. Now that's Oiloy Sharma, the Director of Engineering for Internationalization and Localization, Wikipedia said. India's internet population is growing really fast and it's shown some 15% growth year over year. Hindi is an official language of India spoken widely across the country. And if you look at the infographic that they've given, half of India's map is in blue, and that is talking about the primary Hindi speakers in India. 1 in 5 prefer to access the internet in Hindi. Now that's quite a bit of statistics. Hindi content consumption on the web is starting to take off. Year on year, Hindi is growing by 94%, while English as a language, as a preferred language, is growing only by 19%. 21% of the main language for internet users is Hindi. Growth of content consumption among AdSense publishers in India. That's what the statistics says, and that's where they're saying that 94% year-on-year is growth is for Hindi. Be a part of the Hindi opportunity, create Hindi content and monetize your AdSense. So keen to start creating the content? Here are the top 5 tips for publishing Hindi content online. First, create Hindi content that's unique and provide value to your users. Now you can check out Google Trends in the search and YouTube to see what's popular in India right now. Then you can also see a selection of high quality Hindi content from fellow publishers at hindiweb.com. That's hindiweb.com. The second one that they're talking about is get a professional translation done or have a native speaker review your content. See, if you plan to translate your site for Hindi speakers, ensure that you provide good quality translations. Avoid auto translation as it kind of risks, a very low quality user experience. The third one they're talking about is be multi-screen and fast loading. Delight your users with mobile-friendly site that works well even on low bandwidth connections. Explore these multi-screen guidelines to get your site ready. And the fourth one they're talking about is use Devanagari script. And mind you, these are the tips for publishing content in Hindi. And accessing up to 40 free beautiful fonts for publishing your Hindi content and benefit from better indexing of your site. Remember, they're talking about better indexing of your site by using that 40 free beautiful fonts. Select Devanagari script at Google Fonts to add fonts to your collection. And the fifth one they are mentioning is about monetizing with Google AdSense. Yes, you should not be forgetting that. If you're going to create content in Hindi, oh yes, you're going to be in the niche sector and you better monetize it. If you're getting paid for your content, why not? So monetize it with Google AdSense. You can use your existing Google AdSense account and create a new ad unit to get started. If you're new to AdSense, you could just sign up. Wow, those were the tips from Google, and they are talking about creating Hindi content. And as I said, the infographic shows half of India speaking Hindi. And before we move on to our next story, we have another tip coming your way.
The second thing I want to talk to you about today is doing what you love to do and doing it every day. How many of us actually take time out to do that? Again, this stems from the interview of Todd Henry. This was on the Resonance Content Marketing podcast. He talked about how important it is to take some time out every day to do what you love to do. Not only because that is what actually makes you happy, but because you need to stay in shape with respect to the profession that puts money on the table. I'm also a content developer and I really don't get to write that much nowadays. But 2 to 3 days back, I wrote a post on LinkedIn. It just hit me and I wrote a post on LinkedIn. And I realized that I was actually in better spirits the whole day. Because the truth of the matter is I love writing and I spend some time of the day doing what I love to do. So thank you, Todd, for reminding me of this very essential element of life. Do what you love to do and do it every day. My third tip for you, dear listeners, is the new feature Twitter has launched within the notifications filtering. This is for the verified Twitter users. If you are a verified user, you get an alert when another verified user follows you on both the Android and iPhone app. Also, you can view your verified followers from your own profile on Twitter. This is only for iOS though. This feature started rolling out on August 13th, and clearly Twitter wants to give its earliest adopters, the celebrities, some extra love. If you remember, Kim Kardashian recently got a direct affirmatory response from the Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey when she tweeted to her 33.8 million followers that she's emailed Twitter to add an edit feature to tweets. Good to be famous, huh? That's all from me this week. If you'd like to get in touch, please connect with me on Twitter at MSOpinion. That's MSOPINION. You can also find me on LinkedIn at in.linkedin.com/in/Monica Samuel. That's Monica with a C. That's pretty all. Bye-bye.
Hey, thank you so much for that tip. And here is another story from IBNlive.com. And what are they talking about? The BBMP elections. And they're talking about how several non-politicians are in the fray. Now, what is BBMP? BBMP is the Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagara. Oh, what is that? That's a civic body in Bengaluru. We are having the elections coming head on. Civic polls are less than a week away, and this time the IT city is seeing more refreshingly new faces in the poll fray, with many more non-political candidates in the fray. One such candidate is an architect, T.S. Subaya, who is still learning the ropes of how to become a politician. He does the BBMP office rounds to get his candidate ID and explain his accounting. This time, 40 residents associations have come together to support him as an independent candidate for the corporation election. It's a threat to politicians. If you don't do what we are asking for, there will be a change, said Subaya, who is contesting from the Radha Krishna Temple ward. Now, our Bengaluru is segregated into different wards, and each of them get an opportunity to contest from particular wards. Now, Lok Satta candidate, that's Rohit Simha, he's all of 33 years old. He quit his plush job as a quality engineer at the multinational manufacturing firm Bosch to jump into politics. He has 5 volunteers. He literally takes his pamphlets and personally delivers it to all the homes. He knows it's not easy, but he's definitely determined. Like in corporates, we have goal setting, monthly reviews, and year-end appraisals. We'd like to bring all those principles here and ensure that corporate culture is implemented here on the ground, and it's absolutely possible, says Simha as he tours his constituency, that's the Katriguppe ward. With no political chamchas, the candidates like Subaya and Rohit are taking to social media to take their campaigns forward and relying mostly on the educated voters. Now, there's another candidate called Sarla Rajkatte Manjunath, who is also contesting from the Padmanabnagar ward. She has been a social activist for about 9 years now, and she is also completely relying on social media to take her campaign forward. She says, since our corporators aren't doing a great job, people like us have to move into this field. A for accountability, B for best roads, C for clean Bengaluru, said Subaya. Rohit Simha said that he's been a common man till now. The reason the common man has to step out is that our ideas and needs are not being met by their professional politicians, said Simha. Those were some awesome, really awesome stories we have in the digital marketing world. And this time, corporators having or contestants trying to get into the corporator world, that's our civic polls in Bengaluru, are also seem to use social media for their benefit. Do let us know what you feel about this. For those of you who are listening to us and have something to say, you can leave a comment in the comment section below, and you could connect with us on Facebook as Web Marketing Academy, on Twitter as WMA India, or you could get in touch with me on MANASI, that's Manasi at webmarketingacademy.in. Bharni, our editor for all the podcasts at Web Marketing Academy. This piece is going to go to Bharni, and he has to do a thorough job, and with such a short period of time that he has, he does a brilliant work. I hope you've enjoyed the weekly updates. Catch you same time next week. Until then, this is Mansi signing off with a bye-bye.